The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show with yours truly, Lyn-Dee Eldridge. And I know that I used to feel, my God, I am so talented. If I could only put my talents and make money, I'd be the richest woman in the world. Well, as proof has it, as I journey all over the world and I go to different events, I was not only introduced, but I've also been mentored by my next guest. She is called a talentpreneur. She helps us take our talents and our passions and turn them into profit. She's from Brooklyn, New York. She's inspiring, and she's got so many tips for you to start living your dreams. So if you have been saying, or if you've ever heard, or you've ever thought about, man, I know that I'm so talented, and if I could only take my talents and make money, oh my goodness, I'd have everything that I've ever wanted in the world. So now, for the next 27 minutes, you're going to learn how to be able to do exactly that. Please help me welcome my next guest, all the way from Brooklyn, New York, Lady Helyn from LadyHelensCorners.com. Hello, Lady Helyn.
Hello, Lyn-Dee Eldridge, Chief Happiness Officer. How are you?
I am blessed beyond blessed, and I'm favored, and now so excited to be able to share you with the world.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure being on the Happiness Jungle. I think right now there's no better place to be because a lot of us need happiness in our lives. So I'm glad that I'm on the Happiness Jungle. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Well, I appreciate it, and you have a permanent pass as an ambassador on the Happiness Jungle, in my Happiness Jungle world, to always be present, because you make such a big difference in everybody's worlds that get to meet you, learn from you, be mentored by you, just to rub elbows with you, for goodness sakes. You've got that great energy that's very contagious, so it's my pleasure to be able to be sharing this platform with you.
Oh, my pleasure as well. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. So how did you come up with becoming a talentpreneur? And I absolutely love that title because it really does say so much. And I think that it's going to resonate with a lot of people that are in our audience today.
Well, thank you for that, Lyn-Dee. The word talentpreneur or talentpreneurship are two words joined together, which is talent and entrepreneurship. And I'm a big fan of people discovering their talents, enhancing their talents, and developing them and using them to be of service to other people. And that's how come you have talentpreneurship. Now, what led me to start or venture into talentpreneurship? Prior to now, I worked in a bank, and I was an assistant branch manager at a bank. And I said to myself, it will be remiss of me if I do not use my talents to help people, to be of service to them, right? And because I knew that I had so much in me, I knew I had a lot that I could offer the world. But just sitting behind the desk every morning, 9 to 5, or even further than that, and just signing papers and documents and all that, at a point I said to myself, no, this has to stop. I have so much in me that I need to share with the world, my experience, my talents, my knowledge that I have acquired over the years. And so I decided to venture into entrepreneurship. In my journey in the entrepreneurial world, the Lord visited me. He put it in my spirit to say, there are a lot of people who have talents, but are not using it. I need you to pass on that message. And so I started on that journey myself because I know I'm multi-talented. And I started, discovering and saying to myself, which of my talents can I deploy to the world? Can I use right now to help people? And it came forth that I have a talent in communication, which I rarely used. The only way I used it was in singing. So I sing songs, I can sing, I love singing. But in terms of talking, I never really explored that aspect of me. But when I ventured into talentpreneurship, I discovered that my voice is one that people want to hear. My voice is one that people can benefit from. It can bring healing, it can motivate people, it can give people energy and drive. So that's how come I, ventured and started talentpreneurship.
Well, I absolutely enjoy all of your FaceTime lives. I enjoy listening to you. I love hearing you sing. You are, it's like an angel. As soon as you start singing, I feel like there's an angel among us, and you're absolutely right, and you're shining, and you are the epitome of what your brand is. And that's why I'm so excited to share you with the world, because there are so many people out there that say, okay, this is awesome. I'm finally going to listen to somebody who understands me and who gets me. This is what I want to do. Some of them, their voice isn't their talent, but it's their hands, it's their craft. It could be so many different things. How did they get started? Number one, to believe in themselves. Number two, to say, I am going to take the advice of Lady Helyn today, and I'm going to do this one step before I contact her. Share with us, what is that we have to do to realize that why are we holding ourselves back?
Okay, well, thank you for that, Lyn-Dee. And I thank you for always enjoying and looking out for my messages on Facebook. That's on Helyn's Corner. So for those of you who have not heard about it, it's called Helyn's Corner. And I just give out motivational sessions there. But how can people start to discover their talents? Great question. And that question just doesn't come from you alone. I've had a lot of people approach me to say, how can I discover my talents? And in my book that I wrote, I just launched the book. It's called Talentpreneurship, Turning Your Talents into Profit and Living a Purpose-Driven Life. I enumerated ways that you can, start to discover your talents and then utilize them from there. So the first thing I'll tell people is this: get a sheet of paper, get a pen, and write down at least 10 things, activities that you do that you love doing. You love it, and then when you are lost in those activities, you're like, I don't want to stop. Now, write those 10 activities down on a sheet of paper. Now, after you've done that, look through the 10 items or the 10 lists you've made, and then skew it down to 7. And then from the 7, skew it down to 5. And then from the 5, you say to yourself, okay, which are those 3 dominant talents, those activities that I love doing that even people come to tell me, oh, you're great at this. So it's not one thing for you to know your talent, it's another thing for people to acknowledge that you are great in this area. And so when you have those 3 activities written down, now you look at those. From those 3 activities will determine your areas of talent, because those are things you absolutely love doing. Those are things that come from the inside of you. Those are things that when you do them, people immediately acknowledge it. People say, Lyn-Dee is great at making people happy. She has a talent for, igniting the fire and the flame in people, igniting the smile, making them come alive. And so once you discover those 3 things, the next step will be, how do I enhance them? How do I develop these skills if you haven't already, right? And now when you develop those skills, the next thing, of course, will be to deploy them. So I came up with a formula, which is D plus D plus D over Y is equals to a differentiated U.
Wow.
So D plus D plus D stands for discover your talents, develop your talents, and deploy them, over the dominant factor, which is U, which is Y, and that gives you a differentiated you, because your talent separates you from every other person. And I must say at this point, Lyn-Dee, everyone was given at least one talent. I don't want to think that one person has one talent. No, everybody has multiple talents. But of course, we have recessive talents and we have dominant talents. And so these talents were given to us to be of service to people and help people make a difference in this world. And that's how come you have doctors, you have nurses, you have teachers, you have parents, you have children. Every aspect of life is such that there's a talent for you to utilize to be of service to people. Did you know, Lyn-Dee, that every family has a family talent? Now, that's one new area that I'm going to start exploring, because families have talent, like the Jackson family. Michael Jackson and his family, their family talent is music. You can't take it away from them. There are some other families, at least I know two families, different families. One family, they're doctors. So theirs is in the medical field. They're all medical doctors. From the father to the grandfather to the grandchild, they deal in the medical field. There's some other families, it is engineering. So that's why people should look inwards. And I say this a lot. At times, parents deviate their children from their talents. You find out a child loves football, for instance, but the parent wants to steer the child in the area of education, which is great. But most times what they end up doing is that they kill that talent for football. And then the child grows up in another direction. Most times, maybe not often, you find that happening, that the person catches themselves along the line and they go back to that area of talent, right? So what I want to advise parents and those listening right now is, when you have a child that is gifted in an area, don't stop them or don't discourage them from that area. Rather, encourage them, but encourage them along with the aspect of education, because absolutely education is important. They may not want to be a medical doctor. They just may want to be a footballer. But then the parents tell them, oh no, in life, you have to be the medical doctor. That way you get money. That way you can pay your bills. You will never want or lack for anything. But you see, the child does that, and then they deviate from their actual area of talent. Let me share this example, and I'll round it up with that. I know a friend of mine, there are 7 of them. Their mother had 7 boys. One of them grew up, and the parents wanted him to become a priest, so a Roman Catholic priest. And he said, okay, in obedience to his parents' request, he became a reverend father. And after he was ordained, he went straight to his parents and said, you wanted me to be a reverend father. Now I want to do what I want to do. I want to become a medical doctor. And he went and he became a medical doctor.
Wow.
So maybe he's practicing that pari passu with the priesthood, not sure, but that's one such example of when, parents steer the children off their area of talent and they're doing something else. Like I said previously, some people catch themselves back and come back to that area that they're talented in. Most times people don't. Right. And that means you're losing out on life. You're losing out on discovering and utilizing the real you. Because it's in discovering your talents that you discover the true you.
I love that. And it doesn't matter how old you are, when you finally realize that you have a talent that you haven't yet been able to shine. I don't care if you're a teenager or you're a senior citizen. I am watching people all over the world really take on their talents, take on their ownership, do that process of elimination that you spoke so clear about with that starter list. What is it that I want to do? We have to sometimes be selfish so we can be selfless. And everything that you just shared, wow, so on target, so fabulous. I love it. I remember when my daughter was growing up, And let me just go with end in mind. Right now, she is a very successful homemade business person that does wood burning. And I share that with you because when she was growing up, she was probably about 15 years old, a matter of fact. She's now 33 years old. In her mind, she said she wanted to become a tattoo artist. She was passionate about that. She would sketch, she would do things, and I saw her talent on paper. And unfortunately, I was saying to her exactly what you say that parents say, because we think of, we want the best for our children. We're not thinking clarity, and we're not thinking about what is in their mind. So fast forward, she never did become a tattoo artist, but her talent was reborn on wood. And let me tell you, she is shining. So I share that story because I want our guests to know that, yeah, maybe your dream was redirected for you as you were growing up, but somehow or another, as long as you keep having it, somehow it will spiral back in your life and you will have the opportunity to take ownership of that again. So I want people to realize that, yes, I'm a mom. Yes, I ended up doing that as well, because it comes from love. It doesn't come from any place else. However, listen to Lady Helyn, because she just gave you the clue on the process of elimination of how you could still enjoy your talents to become a prophet.
Correct, correct. And I must add this as well. I love what you said. At times you have to be selfish to be selfless.
Yeah.
Now, in my journey of talentpreneurship, I had to do that. And this is what happened. I've mentioned previously that I worked in a bank. I was an assistant branch manager in the bank. I have, reached a high level of education and all that. And so when I came to my family to tell them my decision, they thought I was nuts. They thought,
you nuts?
Listen, Lyn-Dee, I can laugh about it right now,
Yeah.
but it was a huge problem in the family. And they saw that along the line, she's serious, because I've always worked. I have over 20 years work experience working for multinationals and different companies. But when it struck me and it hit me that, listen, time waits for no more. What are you doing with what you have? How are you utilizing what you have been given to be of benefit to other people? And so that just kept burning in my spirit, in my bones. And I couldn't, whenever I was at work, work became a distraction to me.
A lot of people can relate to that statement, Lady Helyn. Work can be is a distraction. That's powerful. Go deep right there, because there are so many people that are stuck and they're like, I don't like my job. I don't like what I do, but I have to go there. Take them someplace right now.
Now, with that, a lot of people are stuck in, and I agree with you. I was once like that. I know my colleagues in my office then. There were so many of them. But you know what holds people back, Lyn-Dee? Fear. Fear holds them back. They start to think of the bills. They start to think of their lifestyle. How do I maintain what I've got? How do I continue? When I start, am I going to make the same amount of money that I was making? Am I, going to be successful? Fear of failure again. And so they get stuck in that situation that they find themselves doing the 9 to 5. But very few people take the bull, and I hope I can say this. This is my way of expressing that quote.
You could say anything you want.
Right? Okay. So I say many people don't have the opportunity to take the bull by the balls. Because when you take the bull by the horn, you can get away with it. But when you take the bull by the balls, that's very daring. That is so daring. So a lot of people get stuck in that situation of, well, you know what? No, I think I'm comfortable with what I'm doing right now. Maybe in another 1 year time. 1 year comes and it passes and they're still giving excuses. But I want to encourage anyone listening right now. If you want to go on the path of talentpreneurship or entrepreneurship, you have to be absolutely resolute and determined to go on that path. because you're going to have a lot of distractions. You're going to have a lot of temptations. You're going to have a lot of situations that will try you to test if you really want to stay on this course. You know, you're going to be put through the fire. You may even go through a period of lack, like I did. I remember a number of times my mom will come to my apartment and she will open my fridge and it is absolutely empty.
I got that.
But for me, that was my hibernation period. That's the period I used to develop myself, develop my skills, the information on talentpreneurship, develop the book, develop my Talentpreneurship Academy, where it's an online academy where you can learn more about talentpreneurship. And then I had other things that I came up with, seminars and conferences and telephone conferences. Even Lyn-Dee, you remember we did the Manifesting Your Greatness virtual conference?
Yes, I remember that quite well. It's one of my favorite platforms to be on.
There you go. And we're going to do something hopefully by this year as well in October. But that's what happens when you step out of your comfort zone and you step out and take a risk to determining your talents, developing it, and using it. So it's not just enough for you to know your talents. You have to develop it. You have to now put it to use, because what you don't use, you lose.
That's right. And I want to go back to your refrigerator for a minute. Because
Please.
it is, you know, because I had that refrigerator as well.
There you go.
When you're going on a new path for your dreams, don't look at the money you're going to lose. Look at the money that you are going to be able to create, but now you're going to have to be on a tighter budget. And I want people to realize that there's a majority of spending that they're doing that is worthless. And maybe it's the different things, different habits, or whatever it could be that we don't have to be spending money on. We don't have to go out for dinner every night. We don't need to go and meet our buddies for a beer. We don't need to go to the movies. We've got so many ways to be able to consume and collect our monies. And everybody is different. So everybody has to understand that everybody's budget is different, but how badly do you want your future? Because here's what I know for a fact. My refrigerator was empty, but I'm still here and I lived through it.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
Now, the refrigerator issue. One thing I would say with that, and I do agree with you, at times we have to go through a period of lack in order to come out. It's just like putting, when you get raw gold, it's ugly looking and it's not really nice, to behold. But when it goes through the fire, it comes out looking brilliant, right? Now, the same thing, when you're on a journey to discovering yourself, or wanting to put what you have into use for the benefit of other people, you will go through the eye of a needle. You will go through fire. You will face a storm or storms in your life. And in this book, I think it's one of the chapters, maybe chapter 6 or so, and I titled it Challenge the Challenge. You will face challenges, but solving the challenge doesn't mean you running away from it.
Right.
You have to confront those challenges.
Right.
You will have lack. You will have periods where you will have self-doubt, Lyn-Dee. Self-doubt.
Very normal.
You will say to yourself, am I on a wrong path here? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to do?
Right.
Lyn-Dee, I remember so many times when I would cry. I would stay late up in the night, writing the book, developing my course, doing some other things, and I would just break down and start crying. I'm like, Lord, I hope all this is not going to be in vain. I just kept saying that. But many times I felt discouraged, because at times I will call for conferences or go for workshops. Very few people will turn up. Some people, at times I will have to cancel it. But like I said, Lyn-Dee, you have to stay focused.
Stay on the course.
Have the end in mind. You remember?
Yes.
Have the end in mind. Once you do that, with time, you will start seeing the benefit.
Yes.
But more importantly, let me say this to our listeners and our viewers. For you to become fulfilled, it starts with you first, of course, discovering what your talents are, developing them, using them to be of benefit to people. But for you to use them, you have to find an area of need. There's a need out there. There are people with problems. You know, we say there are a lot of millionaires and people making money here and there. Why are they making the money? They're fulfilling needs. There's someone who has a lack somewhere and they're providing a solution. The same thing, you can utilize your talents to provide solutions to people's problems. And once you start to do that, the money will follow suit. You will have the money because people will have to pay for your product, or they will have to pay for your service, which you have developed. So for instance, my product is this. One of my products is this. Another product I have is the online academy, and so many other things that are coming forth. And that's the beauty, Lyn-Dee, of exploring your talents. You may start at point A, but trust me, by the time you're done, you would have established point B, point F, point Z.
Absolutely. And
it's inexhaustible.
Yeah, Lady Helyn, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we're running out of time. And the one thing that, first of all, I want everyone to know, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, they can reach me first by email. My email is helynscorner@gmail.com. Helyn spelled Helyn, and helynscorner@gmail.com. You can also reach me through my website, www.helynscorner.com, or you can reach me on Facebook, Chinyere Njoku on .facebook, or you can reach me on my business page, facebook.com/Helyn's Corner.
Oh, that's beautiful. And the other thing that I just want to share very, very quickly is we have to be flexible with change, because you could start out your talents on one note and all of a sudden you're completely on the spectrum of someplace else, but you're still enjoying your own talents. Is that true?
That is absolutely true, because that was my experience. And Lyn-Dee, it's a great feeling when you tap into your talents and you utilize it for the benefit of others. It is indescribable.
It is the best feeling. And procrastination is only the devil laughing at us. So we need to laugh back and tell him, get out of our way, because we got to plow through it.
There you go. We have to do that.
That's right.
I have business to do. I have lives to change. I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to be of service to people. And I want to just keep utilizing all that I have. Like, I think we got this from Les Brown. He says that you should live full and die empty.
Amen, everybody. Give her some love. Give her some love. We never said that life was easy, but we did say that you could be happier. That's it for our show today. Lady Helyn, I love you. Thank you so much. You're an angel.
And you. Thank you for having me.
What
it was a lovely session.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.